Pause. You arrive in a quiet room. No choices seem dramatic, but one decision already decided for you is obvious in your day. You reach for your cup, you write a name, you throw a ball. One hand leads. Always. Why did that happen? When did it happen? This is the mystery we follow. A choice made before your first memory. A decision written into tissue, wiring, and time. Pause. Before you were born, when you were the size of a grape, your nervous system started sketching maps. Neurons grew, folded, connected. Lateral differences appeared. One hemisphere began to edge ahead. By mid-gestation, ultrasound shows fetuses preferring a thumb. One thumb finds the mouth more often. One hand moves a little more. These early nudges become a lifetime habit. Pause. The brain controls the opposite side of the body. Left motor cortex nudges your right hand. Right motor cortex nudges your left. But it is more than simple wiring. Language centers usually cluster on the left. Fine motor skills and complex sequences overlap with language. When language and fine control sit on the same side, a natural partner is born, your right hand. Around 90% of people end up this way. It is a population pattern carved deep in our species. Pause. Genes whisper, not decree. Handedness is polygenic. Dozens, then hundreds of tiny variants. Nudge the balance toward one side or the other. Twin studies show heredity matters, but not absolutely. If one identical twin is right-handed, the other often is too, but not always. GWAS studies keep revealing loci tied to brain asymmetry and development. One gene, LRRTM1, once caught headlines for a link to left-handedness. Another, PCSK6, showed up in studies on developmental timing. But no single gene rules the roost. It's a chorus of small effects. Pause. Environment, hormones, and randomness join the chorus. Prenatal hormones like testosterone may shift brain wiring. Stress, position in the womb, tiny vascular events, all can tilt the scale. Epigenetic marks, chemical traces of past activity, adjust gene expression. Sometimes the cue is subtle. A fluctuation at the right time becomes amplified. A small asymmetry becomes a pattern. Your hand becomes the visible record of those earliest events. Pause. Why 90% right-handed? One explanation is social coordination. When most people use the same hand, tools, teaching, and collaboration become efficient. Cultural systems favor a common direction. Another layer is evolutionary advantage. Left-handedness persists because it confers situational benefits. In combat, in fast interactive sports, rarity is an advantage. A left-hander surprises the right-oriented majority. Selection keeps left-handedness in the population at a stable minority. Balance emerges, the majority for coordination, the minority for advantage. Pause. Left-handers are not mistakes. They reveal how flexible biology can be. They show alternative wiring that still works, often with flair. Left-handed people are overrepresented in some sports and arts. But myths creep in. Left equals creative genius. Right equals moral order. Those are stories people tell, not scientific facts. Data show modest differences in certain tasks, tiny shifts in health risks, and many null results. The truth is nuanced. Your hand is not a personality label, it is a record of development. Pause. Researchers use many tools to decode this record. Fetal imaging tracks movements before birth. Brain scans map asymmetry in structure and function. Genomics searches for small genetic nudges. Behavioral studies test how patterns persist across cultures. Across methods, a clear picture forms. Handedness arises from early brain lateralization, shaped by genes, hormones, environment, and chance. Pause. Across history, culture tried to overwrite biology. Schools forced children to use the right hand. Scissors, desks, instruments, even greetings were designed for the majority. Left-handers adapted, learned to fit into a right-handed world. That pressure changed behavior, not origin. You might switch for convenience, but the brain's bias remains. Pause. There are practical echoes of this ancient choice. Design and accessibility still assume a dominant hand. Sports, tools, instruments, workplace ergonomics favor common patterns. Recognizing this gives you agency. You can sculpt your environment to fit you or understand why you learn to adapt. Pause. Imagine the fetus again. Tiny waves of electrical activity. A shifting balance in two hemispheres. A single thumb to the mouth. A preference emerges. Not destiny in iron, but a powerful early nudge. Pause. You may be right-handed. You may be left-handed. Either way, your choice is ancient and ongoing. It starts in the womb, shaped by DNA and the micro-world of development, then polished by culture, practice, and purpose. Pause. Scientists keep peeling back layers. They ask new questions. Why do some people switch dominance? How does lateralization relate to language disorders? Are there benefits we have yet to quantify? The pursuit is both technical and human. We learn about wiring and we learn about ourselves. Pause. A few curiosity facts. Some animals show population-level handedness too. Chimps and parrots have biases. Handedness is not uniquely human, but our cultural complexity magnifies its impact. Left-handers are more common among artists and athletes in some samples, but these trends are small and context-dependent. And many medical claims about left-handers are exaggerated. Pause. The mystery is solved, and it remains mysterious. Solved because we can trace mechanisms. Genes, brain asymmetry, fetal action. Mysterious because the exact recipe varies for every person. Your hand is a fingerprint of development. It tells of timing and tiny differences. It tells that biology is probabilistic, not absolute. Pause. So when you look at your hand tonight, notice the lines. They are not just skin. They are a map of choices made before you could choose. Your dominant hand is a quiet alliance between left and right side, between genes and environment, between evolution and individual history. Pause. The next time you pick up a pen, ask yourself who decided first. Was it your mother, your culture, your genes? All of them, and none alone. A crossroads in the dark of the womb, a small tilt that grew into habit. Pause. You carry that decision everywhere. It helped craft your skill, your comfort, your daily rhythm. It shaped tools you use, spaces you inhabit, even gestures you make. It connects you to millions of years of human life. Pause. We end with a simple truth. Something quiet chose you before you could decide. Understanding it changes the way you see yourself. Not victim to fate, but an outcome of a complex, beautiful process. Pause. The next time your hand moves without thinking, remember the story beneath that motion. And know this: your body has been making tiny decisions for you all along. Some started before words, some before warmth, some before you were born. That is the mystery and the miracle. Your hand is proof.